We're going to be talking about pot size and how it relates to yield, finishing times, all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I get questions about quite often is, and heck, I mean, it's happened probably 5 times today in the Dream Beans Supports group, is in the Sports Center, is uh, how long does a certain strain take to finish? Okay. Well, certain strains, obviously, there are strains that go longer, there are strains that go shorter. Generally speaking, with all of the gear that I have, it's almost all based on pretty fast autos as autos go in the 75-day range. Now, one of the selections, one of the things that I do to select in my process is how fast something flowers. And so I'm always looking for the fastest to flower and the biggest. Being able to have a quick cycle without having to sacrifice yield is always the goal of an auto breeder, in my opinion. And not having to sacrifice quality or yield when it comes to finishing time. So one of the things that I have, and there's still, guys, this is all still just a whole lot of theory, a whole lot of hypothesis. Testing autoflowers is really hard to get any kind of real scientific method done on them, just for the simple fact that they all come from seeds. So inherently, there's a variable that can't be tested and controlled. For those that don't know, I mean, to be able to do a real scientific test, you need to have what's called a control group, and then you have the variable group. And with autoflowers, inherently, it's hard to do. So you have to get a whole lot of data, and that's what we're still in the process of right now. So all of this is kind of, just kind of take it as it is. This is my own personal thought. What's up, Ben? What's up, Jamie? This is just my own kind of personal thoughts on what makes autoflowers do the things that they do after working with them for over a decade. Okay, so pot size as it relates to yield. Okay, we are seeing an April Taupe. She's one of the admins. She's a moderator here and in Multiverse. That she's doing a good test for us right now. She's testing a 10-gallon pot versus a 100-gallon pot. We are seeing that the increase in pot size is a good way to increase your yield with autoflowers. Now, in my personal experience, I've seen it can lead to a longer flowering cycle. I'm actually doing some tests right now in my light assisted greenhouse, the LAG system, for 20-gallon pots. I have a system that uses, it uses all of the latest and greatest technology along with the high elevation sun that we get here. And so it's like having a Ferrari, and now I'm trying to give it all of the high premium gasoline that I can, giving it a big pot with an abundant amount of nutrients. So we're putting some of this to the test, and I'd like to see if it finishes in the same amount of time that it does. But as it relates to yield, this is strictly a yield test that, generally speaking, that we are starting to see the bigger the pot size, the larger the plant's going to be, the larger the root system is going to be. Everybody's heard the bigger the roots, the bigger the fruits. That's definitely the case. As I'm stepping up in pot size, I was always a three gallon guy. I'm a 3-gallon dude, just because that's what everybody kind of thought, that autoflowers really wouldn't be able to fill out the bigger pot sizes because they have a limited, lifespan and a limited harvest cycle time. So there's going to be a line of diminishing returns. Okay, it's going to be a 7-gallon pot or a 15-gallon pot. It also depends on your style setup. Do you have adequate lighting? Do you have CO2 enrichment? Or is your VPD in check? How is your DLI? All of those kind of things that are going to go into ultimately how much time and how much energy that plant spends on, filling out its root system. Okay. Because these things are on a timer, so to speak, they have a limited amount of time to do their vegetative process, which includes growing a large rhizosphere and a large root network. Once it gets into the flowering stages, yes, it will continue to produce roots throughout its whole lifespan. I have tested this multiple times. They don't ever stop really growing roots. They do slow down. The root growth is very vigorous and accelerated from the time that thing sprouts until it gets into a couple of weeks of flowering. Once it does that, then it starts to focus really on where the roots are. It's going to put out some more feeder roots. It's going to put some more lateral roots out and some fibrous roots. But for the most part, it's slowed down considerably. So you want to focus on that time, in 7 or 8 weeks, something like that, 6 to 8 weeks, I'd say, in filling out that pot. Now, proper watering, there's so many things that go into it that depend on what size is going to be best for you. Are you a hands-on grower, and do you like to poke in your plants, and do your plants see this all the time? I mean, mine do. I mean, that's a fact. I spend, a tremendous amount of time watching my plants grow. It's just something I always have found fascinating and something I like to do. Or are you a grower that's really busy with a work schedule and or life schedule with, kids or family or whatever, and you're only able to check a tent, a couple of times a week? There's a lot of things that go into how to determine what style grow is best for you. We always want to, go over what's called grow goals. Y'all are going to hear me talk a lot about that my reason for growing is completely different than your reason for growing. My reason for growing is to create seeds so you guys can grow. We don't produce for flower anymore here at the Dream Farm. We're 100% dedicated to breeding and to producing seeds for you guys. And you guys at home, I mean, I'll just take the names on the screen. Jamie, Ben, Laderica. I know Laderica's definitely, I know her from the real world. That's my home girl. What's up, Derica? So we'll go with Eric and Laderica, Ben and Jamie. You guys all each individually have different reasons for why you are choosing to grow cannabis at home. Okay, I know Laderica is, she likes it. She's, a casual smoker, and she enjoys. She always accused me of my pot being too strong. Well, we went to a concert one time, and she was like, "Oh no, that's too strong." So now that I'm releasing all my stuff, those guys are doing a great job. Daryl, her husband, is doing a fantastic job growing it out for their first grow. So their reasons are going to be different from Jamie's, who's ultimately probably, I don't know specifically. I'm just using these as examples. I just know Laderica. So Jamie might be using it because he's tired of spending $400 a month at the dispensary. That his state just went legal, and these guys are just getting the first opportunity to access cannabis in a way like never before. But sure enough, when that happens, people are going to try to capitalize, and the prices at dispensaries are hard. Eric may have a completely different reason. Be it that he has a medicinal purpose, that he has aches and pains and joints in his joints and knees, or epilepsy. I suffered from seizures for a long time. That's one of the reasons why I choose to consume cannabis. And so the reasons that people grow are going to be different. And so each grow goal is going to necessitate a different grow style. Okay, and again, that's going to be for all factors involved. Like, how do you do it? How much time can you dedicate it? What's your budget? There's so many factors that go into that pot size is just one of them. It's a cumulative thing, and it's all aspects of your life and the reasons that you guys choose to grow this amazing plant at home. It's going to be different. It's going to be wide ranging. So this is another thing that you guys are going to get from me that you'll never get anywhere else, as far as I know. Ben Koch, he's doing a great job, but he's spread very thin. This is my all-time 100% full and dedicated thing that I do, is talking to you guys, breeding these seeds and getting these things out into the hands of the people that are actually going to enjoy and consume it for whatever reason. I spend a very large part of my day speaking to you guys through chats and messengers and on posts and things like that, and I encourage it. That's probably the number